Good morning. Welcome to Keep the Faith with Pastor Frank. This morning we're going to be looking at Genesis chapter 11, and we're going to just do a brief little look at the Tower of Babel. Uh, and so when you join me this morning, give me an opportunity to greet you, and then we'll get started. We won't be long this morning. So, good morning, Janine. Pray you're having a good morning. Pray things are going well for you. Good to see you online this morning. So, good morning, Sister Liz. Good to see you online. Pray you're doing well. Good morning, Brother James. It's good to see you. Good morning, Sister Cheryl. It's good to see you. So we're in Genesis chapter 11, and I'm just going to read a few verses here this morning, and we'll talk about a little bit about what's going on there. So in Genesis 11, verse 1, at one time all the people in the world spoke the same language and used the same words. As the people migrated to the east, they found a plain in the land of Babylonia and settled there. They began saying to each other, "Let's make bricks and harden them with fire." In this reason, bricks were used instead of stone, and tar was used for mortar. Then they said, "Come, let us build a great city for ourselves with a tower that reaches into the sky. This will make us famous and keep us from being scattered all over the world." But the Lord came down to look at the city and the tower the people were building. "Look," he said, "the people are united. They all speak the same language. After this, nothing they set out to do will be impossible for them. Come, let us go down and confuse the people with different languages. Then they won't be able to understand each other." In that way, the Lord scattered them all over the world, and they stopped building the city. That is why the city is called Babel, because that's where the Lord confused the people with different languages. In this way, he scattered them all over the world. Good morning, Brother Lewis and Sister Gail. Good to see you online this morning. Good morning, Pastor Gary. It's good to see you online this morning. So, after the flood and the people began to repopulate the earth, and they began to be quite a number of people, they all spoke the same language and they all stayed together. And they found a large plain, and so they began to make bricks and build a big city and a great tower. So they wanted to be famous and they wanted to stay together. And actually this did make them famous now that I think about it, but they actually were very what God's plan for man had been what it was in the first, for man to go and repopulate the whole earth, not just that area, and not just so they could get together and build everything, because God still realized that man was because of the fall, because of sin, was inherently had a tendency to sin and to violence. So God just decided that if the people were going to separate, and go different places in the earth that he needed to change their languages to where they could only understand. So once they, Lord, uh, changed their languages, they stopped building the city. And it says that's why it's called Babel, because that's where the Lord confused the people with different language. That way that he scattered them all over the world. And today, uh, even though there are several people that can speak different languages, several different languages, we're basically still separated by language, and we have large groups of people that gather together. You know, we say because of the culture, because of, but basically that culture expresses itself in the way we speak and the language we speak. Now, I've been a lot of places in the world, and there are people who speak some English. And I sometimes people that are raised up as children, or people that are just spend their time learning different languages. Those that become interpreters have to spend a lot of time to learn different languages. But God's intent was that the people spread out across the earth. And it's interesting to me that, you know, he could have taken the people, he could have driven them different ways. But because the language bound them together, being able to talk to someone that could talk like you. I don't know if you have ever been in a country where you're the only person that speaks your language. When you get back to where people speak your language, you are very relieved, you're excited, you really enjoy that. So these people would have stayed together, bound by that, as uh, and just by their own greatness. And that's what God didn't want to happen. He just wanted them to spread across the earth, to repopulate the earth, and to build their own cities, their own deal, and not concentrate on building something high into the heavens. And so they God chose to disperse them by confusing their languages. So the thing about it is it's not bad if you speak different languages, but it's bad if you want to join together, just forget everything else, build your city, forget about God, and just build your tower into the heavens so you can be famous. You know, there's a lot of times that I know that most people depict the Tower of Babel as and as you know, with somebody on the top shooting arrows at the heaven to fight with God. And I don't see that here, but they just want to be famous. They want to build a great city. They were on a plan, and the King James says in the land of Shinar, but they just literally God wanted them to do one thing, and they wanted to do something else. It's not a new thing. It's the same thing that happens in our time. We want to do one thing, God wants us to do something else. So the thing to take away from this is very simply find out what the mind of God is for what you do, and then follow after the Lord. Don't follow after what everybody else wants to do. And that's not as easy to do sometimes as it sounds. It sounds real pat. It sounds real easy. But the fact is, if you want to do well in this world as you serve the Lord, just follow the Lord. As you follow Him, He's going to lead you. And you may work with people of different languages, and you may work with people that speak your language. You may work with people that different cultures, and you may work with people of the same culture as you. but our purpose isn't to ascend to the heavens to make ourselves famous. I think most of the time we do work and to make a living. So this morning, I just wanted to share this little uh, piece of this. I think that Tower of Babel, a couple of things about it. This is just my take on it. You don't have to. I don't think it doesn't indicate here that they wanted to go and build a tower to fight with God. Uh, it's just, I think that they were doing something that took them away from what God wanted them to do, and God put it back on the right path. So God has a way of doing that. If we start doing what we want to do, and then we want to uh, uh, do our own thing, God has a way of putting us back on the right path. And I appreciate God for that. So this morning, I just pray that you'll continue to do what God wants you to do. Let the love of God flow through you and touch the lives of others. And I pray that you'll just continue to reach out and touch the lives of others and let God use you, no matter what language you speak, to touch the lives of others. Keep the faith. I'll see you in the morning, 6:30, God willing, and be blessed. Have a blessed day.